Although its departure from this route is inevitable, parts of the train, in particular the locomotives like this NJ3 series, will be put to tender. The chances are they'll have many more runs left in either Queensland or Tasmania, where narrow gauge railways will remain in service. But when the Ghan does go, not only memories of the train itself will be left. Most drivers admit they'll also miss the view as they pass through this cutting, for immediately ahead lies one of the highlights of the trip. The Nils River, spanned by the Algebuckina Bridge, a bridge over the oasis no one quite expects to find in the middle of this desert. From the approach to the bridge, cameras click more than at any other stage of the journey, and even crew members never tire of the contrast they see here. One railwayman so loved the crossing that his ashes were scattered from a train passing over it. Rumours insist the bridge was originally built to span the River Marree at Marree Bridge, but was found to be too short and then hauled up here to give the Ghan a dignified crossing of the Nils River. Like much of the line, it wasn't without its tragedies either. 2 fettlers fell from the span during its construction and died. This is Mount Dutton, a few kilometres north of the Algebuckina Bridge. Watching from the comfort of an air-conditioned carriage, it all seems a little unreal. To think that over 90 years ago, construction navvies toiled and sweated with their teams of camels to build this line. Yet the heat and isolation out here phases most passengers even in 1980. Outside the train, temperatures can rise as high as 50 degrees Celsius. The drivers change every 7 hours. It's an unhurried affair with not too much ceremony. While the relieving crew is up front, the others will rest in the crew's quarters at the rear of the train as it rolls on to Oodnadatta through the desert sands of mid-north South Australia. It's mid-afternoon on the second day when the train pulls in at Oodnadatta. For the best part of 40 years, this was the end of the line, while a series of bureaucratic blunders delayed further construction. Today, it's no more than a whistle stop. Not too many years ago in Oodnadatta, the name derived from an Aboriginal word meaning blossom of the mulga, most passengers would have emptied into the pub. No more. These days, the blossom of the mulga has been replaced by the glass of the broken beer bottle.
Here's the order. Oh, yeah. The order for Alice Springs. You won't forget that?
No. That's our job getting through last week.
Yeah?
And that's the only way to get it through is the telecommuters.
Yeah. Bit of weather coming up.
But it wouldn't rain. About 10 inches.
Perhaps Oodna, as it's affectionately called, will be affected more than any other centre on the line by the departure of the Ghan. For so many years, it's been a lifeline for the cattle industry in the area. The town is roughly the same dimensions as in its halcyon days after the Second World War, but easy to drive around in 5 minutes. Like Marree, Oodna had a thriving camel train base for about 400 camels, but apart from descendants who live here, now has little tangible evidence of the Afghan camp or the palm-surrounded mosque which existed on the western settlement. There's already a sense of the forgotten about the place. Yet the ultra-modern school and other government offices look thoroughly out of step with the rest of the town, suggesting there is confidence in its future.
This is a pastoral area, and the cattle production will be still the same, and the people that are connected with the cattle production, stockmen, native or white or station owners, they still will be here. The school will be here, and government offices will be here, and also well, the rail goes, but the transport still go on.
Eddie Peckerneck regards Oodna as his town. Because he owns much of it, he has reason to ooze confidence. But there are others, not nearly as optimistic, who feel that without the train, Oodnadatta will become yet another of the ghost towns spat out by the Ghan and given back to the...
Should we do a Russian chopsticks again? He tried to say not
The second and final night on the Ghan is well underway. There are no strangers anymore, and after dinner, most passengers dwell, for a short time at least, in the lounge car. The German designers originally designated the three sections of the car for music, smoking, and ladies. Yet apart from the piano being in the centre section, any divisions these days are imagined, because passengers are always on the move, joining in wherever they can and adding to the gregarious spirit.
Well, if you're hanging out in Adelaide, looking for a lift to get you off the track to Alberrie Springs, you can forget about a plane, they only go too fast. The only way to go is the one that gets there last. Now I'm talking about a train, and I'm talking about a track that runs from here to Alberrie Springs and sometime gets you back. Now I warn it ain't no speedster, and it's not too flash or fine. It'll always take you sometime a little bit further up the line. On the Ghan, if you want to see the land, ride the Ghan. Oh, it's a magic boomerang. It's a wonder it ever makes it back again. On the Ghan, if you want to see the land, ride the Ghan. Oh, it's the magic boomerang. The wonder it ever makes it back again. On the Ghan, if you want to see the land, ride the Ghan.
Probably none of the late-night revellers were aware of it, but it was about here on the line that they were singing their praises to the Ghan, during a watering stop just over the border in the Northern Territory. There are few tears being spilt over the closure of the line at Fink, a settlement for the Parachilna Aboriginal community. Their lifestyle is relaxed and relatively easygoing already, but they see it becoming more close-knit as an all-black town once the Ghan leaves Fink. People here point to friction between white itinerant workers and black residents and hope that closure of the line will reduce the number of white visitors. The catch-22 is that it may severely affect business at the hotel, which is run by the Parachilna community and provides a solid base of income for them. So it's more likely to be some time after the closure of the line that the real effect is felt in the town. Of course, the closure means there'll be no more enforced stopovers in Fink as they wait for floodwaters to subside further up the line at the river. It's hard to believe this could be the main line north to Alberrie Springs, and it's no wonder that line inspectors regard the top end of the track as not a day-by-day proposition, but hour by hour.
This is the riverbed of the Fink, and it's here that the Ghan currently passes through in the mid of night. The current schedule is a bit of a shame because it doesn't allow people to see the beauty of the Fink River itself, which is broad and filled with gum trees. The Fink's probably one of the most famous parts of the old line because it was just about the most flood-prone, and at the moment one of the most fly-prone. But they first started in the 1930s with a bridge which went across here. That was washed away. Then they replaced it with an aqueduct. That was washed away. So finally, in frustration, they laid this old line clean along on the bottom of the riverbed itself. And if you look closely, you can see the old sleepers are well and truly parched and rotten and broken. They won't last long, and if another flood comes through here, neither will the line. The Ghan won't be going, it will have gone. Visible evidence of man's efforts to overcome the flooding tantrums of the Fink River abound, and much more is buried under decades of river silt. No one's even bothered to remove a previous track which led over the causeway. Over the years, the strategy has remained simple. When the line is washed away, replace it. Yet outback rivers, like the Fink, can turn into raging torrents very quickly, although with the sun shining and the river dry, there's virtually no indication of that. The open stretches here don't even look like a river, so you accept rather easily the decision by the original surveyors to lay the track in other regions direct onto what they presumed was simply parched desert ground. The thought of flooding must have been their last consideration. Yet in 1968, the Fink flooded 4 times in one season. It's capable of depths over 5 metres, but can go for 15 and many more years without any water at all.